This episode may contain strong language and adult themes. Viewer and listener discretion is advised.
Well, what a year it was, it has been, it has gone, and we're now into year two. Welcome to the second year, episode 53 of the 22 Dropouts, the most useless and downgrading YouTube show and podcast all about, well, supposedly about rugby. If you do like us, that's great. We love you to bits. Just check out our social media channels. They'll be up there by the time we finish editing this. All the way from Malta, I'd like you to say hello tonight to my good friend, Sam. Hello, Sam.
Hey, how you doing? You all right?
Yeah, well done, mate. You'll make a TV presenter one day. No, I doubt it. Jules, how are you? How's your week been?
All right, mate. Not bad at all. I've had nothing to do. So.
Oh, good. So you could have helped prepare for tonight's show. You just couldn't be asked.
Doing my own job. So.
Hey, you did a nice roast chicken.
I did roast lamb, actually.
Roast lamb, was it?
Yeah, it might have looked like a chicken to you, but it was definitely lamb.
It's all those sheep down the Wales, you're starting them young with the lambs, are you?
Yeah, it's a lamb that doesn't lay eggs, mate.
Yeah.
I don't know, it depends what you do with it. Anyway, moving swiftly on. Daryl, how's your dinner? You're much better with sound.
Dinner's really good, actually. We've just been cricket training with the under-9s, which is bloody freezing, and then for a 5K run, and got home and the wife's cooked dinner. So, must be doing something right.
Hey, maybe your luck's in tonight, mate.
Maybe.
You never know. Anyway, we do have a special guest tonight. Well, we did have a special guest, but he pulled out, so Sam went and got the next best thing.
You call him a victim these days.
Quite right.
Yeah, quite right. Daryl's got all the dirt on this guest because he was working with him last night. So we'll find out a bit more about that when Daryl's finished eating his broccoli. But everybody, say hello to Adam Leal. Hi, Adam. How are you doing?
Very good, thanks, mate. Good to be here. Good to see some friendly faces.
Friendly. You really have not watched this show before,
yeah. The exception of Daryl tonight.
Yeah. Keep it clean. Keep it clean.
No. Listen. For those people who don't know you, Adam, which clearly isn't Daryl, me, or Sam, so for Julian's sake, and all the millions of viewers and listeners at home, just tell us a little bit about yourself and why you're on tonight.
A bit of an ex-player. When I say a bit, it was pretty low-level stuff in terms of my rugby career, but cut short through shoulder injury, as many world-class flankers are. So ended up probably around 8 years ago now, moving over to the dark side and picking up the whistle and starting on my journey there. So yes, mate, live on the Isle of Wight for all my sins. I have got all the right numbers of fingers and toes just before you go down that path. But yeah, born and bred, and yeah, still live over here now, and it's been a fantastic place to live during lockdown. So
still here, your mum and dad's then?
Yeah, mate, pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. Why move out if you don't have to? Now, just remind me, you said you were a flanker when you were a player. I thought they were supposed to be quick.
Whoa, steady. You've been talking to Chappers? Has he sent you the videos already?
Well, talking of videos, mate. Talking of videos. Just have a look at this.
Shut up and sit down.
Now, wouldn't it have been funny if I'd have just mixed up one with Hamish in there as well?
Yeah.
See if you can spot the difference. Now,
Right.
I always wonder why you always signal with a bent arm, but now that you say you're from the Isle of Wight, it's the extra fingers that are weighing your arm down a bit, aren't they?
Exactly. Spot on.
And did you nearly get 22'd on that breakaway?
Look, I think it's the best, in those moments, the touchline's a priority, and I had to slow down just to make sure, and also, obviously, you don't want to make bad.
That honestly is the worst excuse I've ever heard.
It's the best you're going to get from Adam, I'll tell you that.
I've heard a lot of them.
Oh,
That was pathetic. You could have come up with something better than that.
I was pleased that the support from the team members around me at half time as I came in, and Chappers immediately was showing everyone else on the team, including Romain Poire, a video of me almost getting 22s, which I thought was, yeah, thanks, Darryl. Good, mate. Good support there.
I'm not saying
It
I'm not saying
was
anything.
better
My
than some
last
of the
game
videos.
last season, I got 22 in the game.
he said to
I concur with Adam. We are taught to slow down though, and make sure we get the correct view, because the sideline.
So that's two you making
Priority.
excuses now.
it's too late to back me up now, Chappers. Jesus.
Yeah, hey, you've done it. And listen, Darryl, how long have you been on the show? You know we don't do that. We hang people out to dry on this show. Okay.
Anyway,
I'd like to point out that his own captain, just after that try, said to Romain Poire that he was their own Cheslin Colby. So, that we're just letting you know how quick we're dealing with here.
I just felt you could try a bit harder. As soon as you realise there, you could see it in your body language, right? You could see it. Now, we now know that you're not quick and that you've got too many fingers and toes, probably webbed as well. We've got a little bit of a quiz for you now. So, in best traditions of a TV quiz show, what we want to do is we're going to have Sam, who's going to do the countdown clock. So he's going to come up with some really weird music at the end, like boo 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 boo. Can you just try that for me, Sam? Just do that for me.
so it says,
No, he needs a bit more intro than that. Come on, try harder.
last time that happened, something went wrong, mate. I had kids.
Last time that happened, you got a divorce.
Yeah.
I'll fucking.
That's good enough. When we hear that, Adam, that'll be time up. Right. So, Adam, these are very, very simple, this or that questions, and we promise we will not look into your psychological evaluation afterwards based on the answers you give. Okay?
Depends
So-
on one of them.
I bet you will on one of them, definitely. Now, it's going to be very, very simple. This is just a practice question. So if I said dog or cat, you would say?
Dog.
Lovely.
Right answer. Well done.
Okay.
Oh, man.
Good start.
Samuel, tell me when you're going to start the clock. Give us a countdown.
3, 2, 1.
Sauna or ice bath?
Sauna.
Sun or rain?
Sauna.
Done, he said.
Okay. Fish or
Oh,
chips?
sun. Sorry, sun.
Fish or
carry on.
chips?
Chips.
Ketchup or brown sauce?
Brown sauce.
Netflix or Amazon?
Netflix.
TikTok or Tinder?
Tinder.
Cardio or weights?
Cardio.
Bollocks. Golf or gym?
Gym.
Flip-flops or sliders?
Flip-flops.
Good call.
Good lad.
Good call.
Blondes or brunettes?
Blondes.
Right, you're welcome in Sweden.
Coke or Pepsi?
Pepsi.
Oh,
Ale or lager?
Lager.
Nose hair, trim or pluck?
Trim.
I'm sorry, but we started badly, so we're going to carry on. Just with the last few. Amsterdam or Dendermonde?
Dendermonde.
Sevens or
you're gonna tell Mike
15s?
Boyer that.
15s.
George Selwood or Carl Dixon?
In what context?
Ooh.
Your call.
George
Your
Selwood.
call.
Oh! Right, should we just bring Dicko in now? Carl, just start your video, mate. Whistle or flag?
Whistle.
Metal whistle or plastic whistle?
Metal. Come on.
Shirts, muscle fit or baggy?
Muscle fit.
Bent arm or straight arm?
Bent arm.
Good lad. I think we'll leave it.
You should have done 90 seconds, man. 90 seconds.
I should have done. I think I'm either going to cut the questions down next time, or there you go. No,
leave the question. Just trial it. This is Adam's the guinea pig.
Adam's a guinea pig. He loves you, doesn't he?
Yeah.
So, do you want to go through the rest of them?
Absolutely. Yeah, go on.
Okay. Xbox or PlayStation?
PlayStation.
Doing laundry or doing dishes?
Doing laundry.
You only like doing laundry because your mum does it for you and she makes you do the dishes?
100%. Yeah. Spot
Oxfords or Brogues?
Oxfords.
On scones or scones, jam or cream on top?
Cream.
Boobs or bum?
Boobs.
Toilet paper, over or under?
Oh, God. Over.
Pancakes or waffles?
To be honest, I had a boot button if you'd have said under on the toilet paper one.
There's a story there. Pancake or waffle?
Pancakes.
Good man.
Tea or coffee?
Tea, 100%.
Steak bake or veggie pasty?
Steak bake.
Horror or comedy?
Comedy.
The Stoop or Bermuda?
Bermuda.
Bacon or sausage?
Sausage.
And takeaways, Chinese or Indian?
Indian.
Oh, he's not that unhinged as you said, Sam.
You should do 2 minutes, mate. Don't forget 91 minutes. Jesus Christ.
No, and next time it'll be 15 minutes, I think. It says a lot about you. It does say a lot about you. And during the break, we're going to analyse the results, and we'll come back with our opinions of Adam right after this.
When you need clear and concise match official communication systems, look no further than the brand new AXIWE AT350.
Radios are always useful, they always help us, especially AXIWEs, where all three of us can be open at any time and we can have open communication.
Available now from refcomsglobal.net. Investing profits into match official development worldwide.
So welcome back to part 2 of the 22 Dropouts, where we discovered a lot about Adam's psyche just before we went to the break. We know that he trims his nasal hair and not plucks it. You vain bastard. Yeah, that's why the rest of us have got tears when we come on, because we've just been in the mirror doing that. We know he now prefers 15s to 7s, and most controversially of all, he prefers George Selwood to Carl Dixon. Now, what did you tell us about? What did you say about that in the break then, Adam?
I said that Carl's chat gets too repetitive, so it's nice to have a fresh face around. And yeah, if you have to listen to Carl Dixon all day, I think we'd all pull our hair out. So it's a no-brainer for me.
Is this the reason for Mike?
No, we thought we were talking about their biceps.
Oh, sorry. No, that's I mean, still George, obviously, but
still George, obviously, on both counts.
Yeah, 100%.
No.
George doesn't do CrossFit, so he's all right in my book.
Dicko, are you there, mate?
I am then, Adam. I can't believe what I'm hearing.
Oh, stitched up.
Joining us live from South London, it's Carl Dixon.
I see you got your lid sorted in France.
Oh, you got all the tricks we've been on. And you only like George because he just nods and smiles with your chest.
Oh, I can hear that. Say it again.
He says you only like George because he nods and smiles at you with your chat.
Yeah.
Well, Carl, thanks for joining us. I'm really sorry that you had to listen to that. I think it's quite poor from him as well. And I'm sure you'll deal with it in review sessions this week.
Oh, most definitely.
You take care. Cheers, mate. Bye-bye.
I'm surprised you managed to catch him in between Bumble dates, to be honest. You must.
No. Anyway, moving on. So you're not a social media fan then, unless it involves dating?
Involved dating? Oh no.
Well, yeah. I mean, you chose Tinder over TikTok.
I did. I've not actually used TikTok. I know that it's an age thing. Not been on TikTok. So Tinder has had to win in that little way.
Pete, tell us about TikTok. You send me clips from it every fucking day.
Yeah, it's only because people send it to me. I got no fucking idea what it is.
Pete's only on every social media channel going so that he can get women.
No, that's not true. That's not true.
What else are you there for?
We're keeping it clean. We're keeping it clean, Mike.
No, we're not.
Why? We never have before, Sam.
Yeah,
I'm not on every social media. I don't do Twitter.
Second year.
Yeah, the only TikTok I've ever been sent is one that Premiership Rugby did of me colliding with Jamie Shilcock in a rugby game.
Why haven't we got that? Why aren't we showing that?
I'm pretty sure we can find it if we know it's on TikTok now.
Yeah, they put Miley Cyrus's Wrecking Ball music into the background.
Yeah, why does TikTok get away with all of these copyright infringements, but we struggle on YouTube?
That's probably why Premiership Rugby can't pay us more, because they were paying the copyright to Miley Cyrus's music.
Wait. Mike, are you drinking water?
Yeah.
Fucking lightweight.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's because I'm not lightweight anymore. I've grown. Did you know there is a condition that has come out through lockdown, and I've turned into a slight bovine in that I've now got two stomachs, one for food and a separate one for beer. So I'm trying to shrink the beer stomach before my first game, which is in 20 days. I think 24 days. So it's got to go a little bit. Anyway.
Something tells me you'll be catching the opposite 22.
Yeah, something tells me I might struggle as much as Adam did on the sideline.
I'll join the highlights reel of that game, please, as well. Is that all right?
No. Now, talking of dating, because you did like Tinder. When you went over to Dendermonde, weren't you confronted one morning by a certain young lady?
Confronted? I'm not sure if that's the right terminology, is it?
Well, okay. What did you do the night before, and why did her ex-girlfriend confront you the following morning?
Yeah. Sorry. I've been to Dendermonde more than once, so I was kind of.
Okay. So there's stories from each one.
Yeah. So the second one, really, quite an interesting time. Obviously, Dendermonde is it's absolutely brilliant, and the last time I went, it's no secret that I stayed on site all 3 nights, didn't make it back to the hotel once, and on the last night I inadvertently got myself in the way of a relationship between two girls, and the next morning found myself being almost beaten up by a girl, pretty much, and let me tell you now, she was a lot bigger and stronger than I was, so it was a real heart in my mouth.
Foreplay. Thank you.
Say that again.
I missed that as well.
Sam, you've done me there, mate. You've told the stories.
Oh, he's good at that. Now, I also believe, mate, that Stan shouldn't throw stones in glass houses, because I understand that you and Carl went out and got him absolutely pissed.
Yeah, quite right too. I think the last night was the best one at Sam, when we had the court session, and then the subsequent fines, etc. And there's a simple game that we usually enforce when we're out, which is EG, empty glass. I think it originated at Exeter Uni, and you see all the Exeter Chiefs boys will do it now. When you finish your beer, you tap it on your chest, or you tap it on someone else's chest. Unfortunately for Sam, the more inebriated he got, the harder this was to achieve, which meant the more he had to drink. So it was a pretty never-ending circle for Sam that night. But yeah, he was well and truly on his arse, which was great to see.
The fact that most of the game was right-hand drinking fucked me up straight away. Anyway,
yeah,
that's good.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, I think there was a game. Was it a game called Fives or something as well?
Yeah, fives, super
Five.
simple.
Oh, could not do it. No, sorry, no.
It says a lot about Sam if he can't play a game of fives. It's literally, if you don't know what fives is, it's just you've just got to guess 0 or 5. And if you're struggling there, Sam, then we can't really help you, can we?
See, at least I get stuck on the game of 21, and that's how I get pissed. But to be fair, if you watch episode 23, I don't play empty glass very, very well, do I, boys?
Yeah, no, you don't.
No. And get
pissed.
Anyway, while we're on
that was a cracking night.
It was a cracking night. But I am going to show you another wee video now that's just been sent to me.
I came in like a wrecking ball. I never hit so hard.
Play him on TikTok.
I'm quite impressed that you didn't go over
tackle you've done.
Yeah, true. Like completely illegal as well. It's a horrible.
No arms tackle, should be red carded for that.
No, it would be now, yeah, for sure. Yeah, real horror tackle, but something that we can laugh about now. Thankfully,
it came off better because it had been really, really embarrassing if you were splayed out on the ground. Yeah,
I mean, I said to Jamie Shilcock at the time, because you always feel in these situations that they back out of it a little bit, and so as not to flatter me. So I did thank him for not absolutely steamrolling me, but it came back to my my playing instincts. I think saved me there, just to stick my arms up and getting absolutely melted. So.
Boys and girls at home, don't try and tackle anybody by doing that with you.
Hold your arm in and drop your shoulder next time.
Yeah.
That works.
Yeah, it's a bit embarrassing though as well, isn't it? Video. Anyway, while we've got a few more minutes before we go to our next break, just wanted to talk to you a little bit about the Bermuda Tens, how that came about, because you look like you're quite enjoying yourself out there.
Yeah, I mean, look, we were in the middle of a lockdown and got the opportunity to go out there and to referee in something new. Got a call from Steve Lander, who I worked with when I was out in the MLR, when I did 3 months refereeing in America a couple of years ago now. And he said, do you want to come out? And I spoke with JP as well. JP was heading out, and I said, yep, absolutely love to be out there, especially during a lockdown, to be on a lovely island in Bermuda. So yeah, it was absolutely brilliant. I mean, Bermuda itself, they couldn't have been better in terms of their COVID management stuff out there. It was almost like normal out there. They really, really looked after us. Pubs were open. You could go into a pub and drink a beer normally. It was very good. And yeah, the rugby was, for those who've seen it and seen some of the players that are out there, some really special players out there from the world of sevens, and most of the England Sevens team were out there in the GB Royals, and so the rugby was really good. Some quirky rules, so they had different points for conversions. They had jeopardy conversions, so the harder the conversion, the more points it was worth. You could pick where you wanted to take it from. Some of the more challenging rules for us was the captain's challenge, so which worked. We think it worked quite well in terms when they actually had something to look at, but a lot of the players were using it as an opportunity to get their breath. So they were going, we want to check this over there. What? Well, everything over there. Yeah, just over there in that corner. Yeah, while they're all like on their knees, gasping for air. So I'm then looking at a screen, like no idea what I'm looking for. But no, some of it was really good, and yeah, it was really good, and it was a real shame that they couldn't have the crowds that they wanted there, because they sold a lot of hospitality, and there was had the potential to be even better than it was, but it was picked up and covered quite well, and we understand. Well, I understand there's some more tens coming later in the year, hopefully. So
yeah. Well, on that note, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with you right after this. Welcome back to part 3 of tonight's 22 Dropouts, where we're joined by Mr. Adam Leal, who is making us all jealous by talking about his trip to Bermuda during lockdown. So that's where we're leaving that conversation, and we're going to move swiftly on. And of course, this weekend saw the terrestrial television, although it wasn't because it was only on the iPlayer. Well done, BBC. Try going a little bit further next time. That'll sort of mean that we might want to pay our license fee if you actually put it on the proper channel instead of just on the iPlayer.
It's coming on the proper channel soon, Mike.
It better be, otherwise I'll boycott my. I don't know. I'm not fucking boycotting my license anyway. It's a pile of shit.
It was only because it was Scotland. Scotland is on the fucking residence. You know what I mean? So push the red button. Scotland played.
On that note, how good were England, Sam?
Yeah, they absolutely humped Scotland. Something chronic. What was it? 50 odd something.
52-10.
52-10.
Yeah. Oh, just a shooing, like absolute humping. I didn't see any of the game because no VPN.
Honestly, Scotland's second half picked their game up a bit. Their number 10 is fantastic. Megan Gaffney on the wing put some cracking tackles in to stop the girls going through. Real like ankle choppers. And she used to play over here in Sweden, so I know her from I've left her playing for Enköping. Cracking player. Scotland played their guts out, and 52-10 was probably around the right score because England were immense. Poppy Cleal was just smashing everything.
How many points did they score?
Tries as well. It was just a good performance. And the worst thing is, England weren't happy about their performance in the last 30 minutes. They said they let things off. Things were going wrong. They weren't very happy. They were a bit down in the dressing room. I'm like, you just fucking won 52-10.
I think that's nice. I think that's good, though. It just shows that they are professional. They want to do well. They want to work hard, and they don't want to disappoint themselves. And you're right. It did just feel like for that sort of last quarter that the energy and the intensity had dropped off a little bit from England. Maybe a bit of, job done, or the replacements coming on. But I mean, imagine the score if they kept up that sort of second quarter tempo for the rest of the game. That would have been a huge.
They'll need that. They'll need that last 30 minutes when they play the French, because that'll be the massive difference.
Yeah,
that's why they win, I think. So,
how many points did Wales score?
We didn't score any. It was 53-0.
Ah.
We got absolutely trounced.
So you're taking that as a victory, are you, Sam?
I'm taking that as a victory. Scotland scored 10 more points than Wales did. Yay!
Honestly, France scored their winger on number 14. She scored. I've got her name. Bouchard, I think it was. She scored 3 tries in like 20 minutes. First 20 minutes.
Oh no!
A hat trick in the first. I think it was 20 minutes. Anyway, she was just everything was just going through. The tackling from Wales was. They looked like they were ring rusty. They hadn't played together yet. The second half performance was a lot better. For the Wales game, they were, I think, 32-0 down at half time, and they only lost 21 points in the second half. So they only let in 3 tries in the second half. But and you could see the Welsh girls in the second half were a little bit more organised. They were starting to turn over ball. They held up 2 over the line or 3 over the line, and they started making turnovers. So you could see they were starting to get back into the game, playing together a little bit better. But it was professionals versus amateurs. Clearly,
yeah.
Well, I think you could say the same for Edinburgh versus Racing 92. Oh my God!
That's such a good side.
That was just, I'm sorry, ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. To be held at 3 points for a professional team. Sorry, not good enough.
No, I mean that was a complete non-game, wasn't it? It was embarrassing. Anyway, keeping the chat about the women at the moment. Now, remind me, we had earlier, was it this year or late last year, a petition online about certain kit manufacturers using models for their new kit release instead of actually using female players, and there was a big hoo-ha. And one of the outcomes of that was that kit manufacturers should make kit tops in particular that fit women's figures, and I think that was borne out again at the weekend by some of the kit that was given to one of the assistant referees, wasn't it, Julian?
Yeah, Beatrice from the Federation of Italy. She was running touch in the England game, and I looked at the screen, and I know Beatrice, she lives in Norway, and I was like, what is she wearing? Why is she wearing a shirt that looks like a tent?
It looked like she borrowed one from Carl Dixon.
It did look like Dicko's lent or one of his shirts, because he's a big lad and she's quite small and fit. All the other referees seemed to have kit that fitted, but Bea seemed to have something. It was down here on her arms, about this wide on her arms, hanging over the top of her shorts, and I'm like, this is a top level, like the top level women's.
Yeah, and you look at the players
in the world, below the World Cup. You don't get higher than this, other than the World Cup. And can't you even buy kit that fits the bloody referees?
Yeah, I think
it never happened in the men's game. And I was a little bit disappointed in World Rugby, to be honest, that they'd let that happen.
Now, I don't know who's responsible there, because for things like London Sevens, it's often the home nation that has to sort them out. So that, if you go over to Dubai,
the RFU.
Yeah, you could potentially you could be. Well, sorry, bosses. But you go out to Dubai and they give you the kit, they get your sizes first, and they buy it in, and you keep it. Whereas in if you do the London Sevens, they make sure you give it back afterwards. Then they give you a Fruit of the Loom T-shirt with a little sticker on to say well done. It's like going to the dentist. You get a little sticker to say I smiled today. So yeah, I do think it's one of those things that's got to be sorted. Women have got professional kit that costs a bloody hell of a lot to make the kits, whether they be fitted or not. They've changed the sizes and the way they're manufactured for women, and I think it needs to be the same for the female officials. Whether that's in the female game or the males game, they need to have decent kit.
They're using Canterbury kit. Canterbury do women's sizes. There's no excuses. Yeah. It doesn't cost any more. There's no difference in prices. All the stuff is there, ready to manufacture it. Just order the right bloody stuff.
It's just what they took up in the back of the coach.
That's what I think.
That's what it is.
They've thrown kit in the back and find something that fits.
Yeah. Now, talking about, we weren't talking about French TV, but we're going to before we stick our foot in it anymore with the kit manager. Now, French TV. I should put actually French TV, French directors for the TMO, love them or hate them on the quiz, because I think after this weekend, if we don't hate the French TV directors, we are at least impassioned in our ambivalence towards them, because boy, were they shocking whenever there was a TMO decision. It took forever.
Yeah, I think, I'll jump in straight away on this, because I think...
Well, I was hoping somebody who bought it up in the break was going to jump in, but seeing as they weren't,
I've got plenty of opinions on this. I think firstly, we, particularly in the UK, we're all used to the Premiership, and it works quite well in there. And we don't realise how lucky we are in the Premiership, because the directors that are there every week and working with our TMOs and our referees are so in tune now to what we're looking at. It's almost as if they're ready to go. They're ready to tee up the decisions, and it's we just have it. We have it so good here. And I think that when we go abroad, we almost expect the same service, but it's just not there. And I think particularly in this European Cup, there's a few reasons for that. I think at the moment, because of COVID, only the ref and the TMO are traveling. So you've still got the foreign TMO in terms of whether he can communicate properly with the director. Look, there's always been an undertone of is there any French bias? They don't want to show the knock on, and I think one of the key moments from the weekend was a potential deliberate knock on in the Bristol game, where it looks for all money like it is a knock on, but they can't find that killer angle, and you have to wonder. You'd think in the Premiership, on a live game with 8 different angles, we'd get a good shot at that. So can totally see the frustration, and it does seem to be a theme. And whether that's just these broadcasters not doing enough work with the same TMOs regularly, or them just not having the right number of cameras. But I think if we're going to go away to these massive games in Europe, it does need to be improved for sure.
Isn't that something then for the match commissioner and the broadcast manager then to come up with, though, pre-game? They should be looking, are the cameras in the right position for the TMO? Are all these things happening right? I'm just doing a match commissioner course at the moment. That's why all this is fresh in my head.
I mean, I think it's got to begin before that. I mean, once you get to match day, everything's set up, isn't it? I mean,
yeah, it should be ready to go.
100%. Yeah,
all the things should be in the right places. All the cameras should be in the right places.
Yeah.
And when it gets back, the producer should be able to send the stuff straight out.
Yeah. No, I absolutely agree. And like some of the best refs that I know, like Barnsley, for instance, perhaps not during COVID, but usually when he turns up to a game, he'll go into the truck and have a look at what angles are available before he goes out to referee. So he knows what bits he's going to be helped with and what bits he's not. So he's got a good understanding of that. But yeah, from what I understand in France at the moment, they're just not good enough for getting the right angles at the right time. And we've got to remember as well that the game is a product, and people don't want to see us searching for minutes on end to try and find an angle or something, when actually we should be. There comes a point when it's just like, look, there's too much time pressure here now, guys. We've got to get on with the game. So
you've also got the downside as well. We are in a pandemic at the moment, and companies have cut back on staff. I know a lot of producers who work with rugby, or one or two, and they've gone freelance just before COVID hit, and now they're being brought in again a lot more. But they've still struggled for work because all the companies have been using their own staff. So they've been using minimal staff to restrict the people who are talking to each other and sitting in the same room as each other. So it can be that they haven't got enough people in France because they've got a much bigger problem with COVID there than you seem to have in the UK.
Yeah,
and that's why it works better over here as well, because it doesn't matter who's got the broadcast rights, when it was Sky or BT. They've all subcontracted to the same provider, Sunset and Vine, who work with the guys in High Wycombe at Telegenic. So it's the same guys do the same things week in, week out, regardless of who the broadcaster is. And it's only like when you get the BBC and you know ITV will often subcontract out. The BBC tend not to, but you can see the difference, can't you, in those camera angles and the replays and things between the two.
Yeah,
but it just needs to be more consistent, and perhaps the powers that be at EPCR and World Rugby, or just the EPCR, need to get together with all the host nation broadcasters and go, right, let's sit down and write a manual of standards, and this is what we're going to expect. If we're going to have the same, we've got the same laws across all of the countries for the game. We should have the same broadcast facility and the same broadcast ability. And maybe the same course for directors and things like that, just to work with TMOs a little bit better. Put them on a course like you keep going on, Jules.
Yeah, why not?
Well, that means
you're saying that half the people on the course are EPCR people.
All right. Well, the good thing is that we've talked so much about French TV now that we don't have time to go and discuss the refereeing decisions in several of the games this weekend, for fear of purging ourselves and being hauled up in front of the slander and libel courts. So we're going to finish where we started, and that's looking at Mr. Adam Leal. We know that he prefers chips to fish. Naughty boy, and lager to ale as well, mate.
Terrible decisions.
These things are not. And steak bakes instead of vegetables.
No, and
sausages instead of bacon. Trust me, from a guy who's got to this age, Christ knows how, you're going to regret it in about 10 years' time, mate. But the only thing I think I did differently was beer instead of lager. But now we've heard some of your exploits when on tour, and we did check just to make sure you weren't hooked up with anybody when certain things happened before we put them live on air. But I want to know, what's the best practical joke you've either played on somebody when on tour or at a tournament, or had played on you? And I remember some of the jokes, just the shit people were doing to you at the Rugby for Heroes 7. So Christ knows what happens when you're away for a proper weekend.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm thinking more going back to. Can I tell you about when I was actually playing rugby on tour?
You can, yeah.
So playing rugby on tour for the Isle of Wight. We were going to Belgium we went to Ghent to do the Ghent 10s.
I know it. I've been there many times.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
What year?
Say again?
What year?
I forget the year. The whole time was a massive blur in the end. So, so I was known as being a bit of a liability at the time. Just, you know,
rugby socially,
yeah,
romantically.
It was one of my first tours, so I was being a bit brash, being a bit, you know, just almost too over the top. And some of the senior tourists were, you know, wanted to put me in my place a little bit. So at the end of the first game, we obviously all went out, got absolutely hammered that night. I just fell asleep somewhere random in a marquee somewhere. Woke up the next day with a bicycle D-lock around my neck. and I'd been
that
painted.
Was you?
I've been painted from head to toe in yellow paint as well. Just because I was being a liability. So I went to breakfast, and one of our fellow tourists, who was well known for being also, you know, a bit loose, we sat there at breakfast, and at this point I was getting a little bit frustrated about having this D-lock around my neck, and I was like going around all the lads, where's the key, where's the bloody key? Right at this moment, the guy sat opposite me, a guy called Kev, and I'm not going to say his surname, but he brandished the key from his pocket to this D-lock. He went to hand it to me, and just as he went to put it in my hand, he took it back and he swallowed it. He swallowed the key to the D-lock right in front of me, and yeah, he said, you can have that back in a couple of days. And I was like, so for the next 24 hours, I had the D-lock around my head, and quite kindly, the local fire brigade ended up cutting it off my neck the next day, so I could actually play some rugby before I went home. But yeah, ever since then, I wound it in a little bit in terms of my antics, just to try and fit in a little bit better.
Well, I think that's a perfect place to leave tonight's show. Adam, thank you. It's been wonderful, and there's a whole new raft of nicknames coming your way very, very soon after that. Guys, take care. I hope you've enjoyed your Easter, and we'll see you all next week. Take care. Bye-bye.
Cheers. Thank you. Cheers.